Good day, students. Teacher Bailey here to remind you that math is fun. And what better way to do that than to have a party? Now, since this is our first time meeting, I'd like to let you know that I am very fond of parties. But with parties, there's a lot of expenses. Like, for instance, let's just say we're having a party and we need balloons. Don't get scared, there's a little letter here. This letter basically means, it's a symbol that means that we don't know what the number is. So this letter is a number, but an unknown number. So it's just a questionable number for the moment. We'll give it some meaning in a little bit. So let's say that I have a budget of $20. So for the party, I have $20 that I'd like to spend. And I have a lot of students that I want to invite. But I want to know how many students I can invite. So we'll have another variable. This variable is how many students I can invite, because I don't want to just invite the entire school and not have enough money for everyone to get a balloon to have fun in the party. Okay, but for everyone to have a balloon, we know, well, I know now, I looked it up, that each balloon is going to cost 15 cents. 15 cents per balloon. So how we can put this down, because we have everything we need to figure out how many students that we're going to need to have, that we can invite to this party. We have all the information we need. So we know that the amount of students multiplied by the amount of balloons, basically saying that each student can get a single balloon, has to equal up to 20 regardless. I would prefer for it to be around 20, so no more than 20. 20 is our absolute limit, but it can be a little below 20. That's fine. So how we'd like to write that out is 0.15, or this is our 15 cents for each balloon. This is essentially just B, times the amount of students. We can put S next to it. Remember, when you see a number next to a letter, that basically means multiplication. So you would multiply these two together to get 20, the amount of money that we have to spend on balloons, right? So for this, it's a little bit weird since we don't know what S is. We can't multiply with a number that we don't know. So we'd have to use the inverse operation of multiplication, which if you haven't figured out already, is division, right? So since we can't multiply it, because we can't do anything with a number that we don't know, we'll have to affect the equation to get the 15 to mess with the 20 instead of the S. And the opposite of that would just be divide the 15 cents on both sides. Okay, so now our new equation, let's scroll down and give us some more space, is going to be S equals 20 divided by 0.15. So $20 divided by our 15 cents. This essentially is the end of our equation, but because it's kind of ugly and I don't know what to do with that, like what does that mean? How much money is that I'm spending? How much students? What is 20 divided by 0.15? I will use my calculator to put the equation in so I understand what this number actually means, right? And on some further simplification, S equals 1.33, not 1.33, just 133.33. But for this equation, since we're measuring something that you can't split apart, like this isn't a unit of measurement or unit of like liquids or anything, so you can't have a fraction of a student, so we can just keep that rounded down at 133. We don't want to round up because that might go above our amount of $20. So essentially, for this party, we figured out together that we can invite 133 students to the party based off of our budget of $20. But why stop there? Let's say I was given a little more money, right? Let's get rid of a lot of this mess because it's a lot. You can also now put in, well, no, we'll make this, we'll get a new number of students with this new thing. Let's say now for this new party, I have $50. But not only do I want to get a balloon, I want to get cake, right? Which is something a little strange, a little scary, but it's okay. We got it. So I want to get cake. We'll mark cake with C. Remember, the letters basically mean a number that we do not know yet, but I know C. I know to get a basic cake that can feed, let's say, cupcakes. A student apiece costs $1, right? Or maybe not $1, 50 cents. 50 cents, because I feel like if each cupcake costs $1, that would be not a whole lot of students I can invite to my party. But with this, we still have to figure out how much students are allowed to come to the party. For that, our equation is going to look a little different. Since we now have two things that need to be multiplied individually by each student, it's basically saying each student gets one of it, it's going to look a little strange with the parentheses. Remember, parentheses, it's the first thing in order of operations, basically saying you do whatever's in parentheses first, right? So we have the cost of balloons right here and the cost of the cake right here. But we'd want it to all be multiplied by S. Remember, S is the amount of students. I'll put that right here. Handwriting's a little silly. S is the students. Remember, if S is next to, if the variable, it could be X, Y, P. If it's next to anything, it is multiplication. And remember, it has to equal 50 because that's our limit. That's how much money that I do. That's the most amount of money that I'm willing to spend for this party. So there's a few ways that we can do this. I think the best way is the distributive property. So what the distributive property basically states is that if a variable or a number, if a number of any sort is outside of the parentheses and there are things within the parentheses, that number will multiply and affect each number within the parentheses. So it would multiply and affect this one and this one. So what that looks like is 0.15 S plus 0.550 S equals 50. Now from this point, it may look a little strange because now we have basically two variables on the board, but both of those variables are the same variable. So what we can do is we can combine these two variables, well, numbers with the variables, to equal 0.65 S. And that's not seconds, that's students, remember. That S is students, equals 50. And basically just like how we did the last equation, we can just divide the number to get it away from the S by itself, 0.65, and divide 0.65 on the other side as well to get S equals 50 over 0.65. Again, I'm not sure what this number means. That doesn't tell me necessarily how many students that I currently have that I want to invite to the party. Like, I have no idea what 50 divided by 0.65 students looks like. I'm not sure how many students that is. So, putting that in the calculator, S equals 76.9. And again, like the last one, you don't want to, there's no such thing as a fraction of a student. And since I'm a little scared and frivolous, meaning I don't want to spend too much money, I'm going to round down because I'm not sure if I have enough money to supply enough cupcakes and balloons for 77 students with my limit of $50. So we'll just round down in this case to be just 76 plainly. So if we have a party and we want each student to have a balloon, a cupcake, and we have $50 to dispose of, I can invite 76 students to this party. Now see, this is a basic representation of a linear equation. Basically, an equation with a variable that has an answer that is straightforward. I hope this helped you understand that math is indeed a very fun subject, and it can be used in the real life. Now you know, if you have a $50 budget and you'd like to buy balloons and cupcakes for your friends with that $50 budget, you can invite 76 friends over. Seems like a lot of friends. But now you know that information. Stay tuned for more. It's good to see you.